Now, that tower stands 92 feet high, and when erected, that was one of the tallest buildings in Europe. That would have been seen for miles around, but remember why it was put there: to impress and overawe his newly conquered subjects. When that was erected, it would have been seen for miles around, particularly in the 13th century when it was whitewashed, hence the name, the White Tower. Now, in the grassed area around the White Tower, indeed behind me here, but I can't see any at the moment, live some of the tower ravens. Legend has it that should these ravens ever leave, the White Tower will crumble into dust, the monarchy will fall, and a huge tragedy will befall all of England. But of course, far more importantly, I become unemployed. So Charles II, who was a very superstitious man, made a royal decree that said there will be ravens at the tower henceforth and forevermore. Take the lens cap off, sir. By that royal decree, we are obliged to keep 6 ravens here at all times. But hey, this is 2010. Do we believe in all that superstition and mumbo jumbo?
Yes.
Have we got 6 ravens here today?
Yes.
You better believe we have. I like my job. Okay. Look down in the bottom corner there, you'll see that beautifully preserved black and white Tudor building, known as the Queen's House. Today, that building is home to the Governor of the Tower of London and his family. Although in the past, many important prisoners have been held there. Where's those people from Pennsylvania? Stick your hands up. You may have heard of one of our prisoners held down there for his offensive writings. A man called William Penn. He was only released on condition that he leave the country. So he crossed the Atlantic to one of our smaller colonies, America.
Yeah.
And of course, once there, founded the Quaker colony of Pennsylvania. You must be very proud, sir. Your founding father was a criminal. Hey, but look on the bright side. If it wasn't for him, you'd now be living in New Jersey. Anyone here from New Jersey? There we go. Now, one of the last prisoners of the tower was also held down there, but only for 4 days. In May 1941, because during the Second World War, the Tower of London became a prisoner of war handling centre. The prisoner held there you may have heard of, a man called Rudolf Hess, deputy leader of Nazi Germany. He was then moved out into the country for his own safety, because it is believed that some of the British Army soldiers here wanted to kill him. I wonder why. After the war, he was then moved to the War Crimes Commission at Nuremberg and sentenced to life in prison. He eventually died in Spandau Prison, West Berlin, in 1987. Some people claim he died a bitter and twisted Nazi. And I would have to agree, having spoken to that man on many occasions, when I was stationed over in Berlin as part of the British Army and had to guard him. And before you ask, it was not in 1946. Now, directly behind me, the tall, thin building you can see, that is the home of the Tower Doctor, whose surgery I showed you earlier. Should I or any of my colleagues fall ill at night, we have permission to knock on his door. And he will, of course, do his utmost to make us better. However, should he fail, immediately next door to him is the Tower Chaplain. And his office, which we'll be going into very shortly. Now, this beautiful building over here, that is known as the Waterloo Block. That is actually the newest building in this complex. It was erected in 1845 to house up to 1,000 soldiers of the Tower garrison.